I don't see how you could possibly make a true film. Just because by bringing all this machinery in, create a situation that's unnatural anyway. It's not you, it's I think, one of the problems with film. I think the technology is not up to the level where we have to get in order to portray reality. The technology warps reality.
Now in the age of oversharing, in the age where you can just snap a picture of something instead of writing a paragraph describing the thing, why should you keep a diary entry? You know, diary entry takes a lot of effort. Writing takes a lot of effort. You know, instead of writing a diary entry about something, it's way easier for me just to film something and edit that into a video. You know, you can just download iMovie on your phone and you can just, you know, put together a video and you're like, that's my travel diary. It's way easier than, you know, you sitting down in a little cabin somewhere, you know, recounting all of the events and writing them down. Given those conditions, why is it still important for you to write things down? I'm going to spend the rest of this video explaining that very concept. I firmly believe that there are corners of your imagination that cannot be reached through the medium of, should I say, visual storytelling. I mean, visual storytelling is great. I love shooting stuff outside. I love bringing my camera to campus. I love capturing little moments, easily missed, with my camera. But here's a really weird thing. The minute that you pull out your camera, the minute that you start recording, or the minute that, like, you put a recorder on, the entire relationship, your relationship to reality, that entire relationship, it changes, right? All of a sudden you become this observer that's, in a sense, more detached from reality than ever. You know, as a writer, as a storyteller, you want like a certain degree of detachment from your experiences, but as you're observing things without holding up a camera, as you're observing just your daily events, you're still a part of the event, right? You as a writer, you're still a part of the story. It's kind of like Gonzo journalism. You're still inserting yourself into the story. You're still taking part in the story. But the minute that you bring a camera in, the minute that you start capturing reality with technology, the minute that you snap a picture of something, the minute other people see you holding up your phone, holding up your camera, holding up this scary contraption of a giant lens and a giant microphone on the top, they're gonna tense up. The thing that you're gonna end up with in your video gallery, that's not exactly gonna be like a 100% representation of reality, the reality that you're trying to capture. And there's also this sense of like looming anxiety at the back of your mind, where you just kind of like, well, did I capture everything? Is everything on tape? I hope that I captured everything, right? And that, in a sense, removes you from the immediate event that you're experiencing, right? With writing, or a traditional form of journalism, or should I say Gonzo journalism, you're in the story, right? You as a writer, you're still a part of the story. You're recounting the story as a person that's experiencing the event. As you're experiencing the event, you're not exactly explicitly aware that you are experiencing the event. Only in retrospect, when you're writing it down, in retrospect, can you gain that distance from the event, right? That's the writing process, because a writer can only write when he sits down to write alone in a room. You know, you can take field notes, you can note down little thoughts here and there, and in fact, I also keep a little notebook with me all the time. But as I'm going through the day, as I'm having little conversations, as I'm piecing together the narrative for the day, in my head, I'm still experiencing the event. The reality that I'm experiencing is, you know, more or less still the same reality. But the minute that I pull out a phone, the minute that I start snapping pictures of everything around me, the relationship changes. There's always this like degree of anxiety, subtle degree of inauthenticity. This right here, right now, right? I'm speaking to the camera right now. This is something that you have to really prepare yourself for. So I've been talking into a camera since I was 11. So I'm pretty comfortable with, you know, projecting my voice into a camera, but that's not everyone. If you watch some videos of some early YouTubers, they were pretty awkward. So if you have a camera in your face all the time, and if you're hyper anxious about capturing everything using technology all the time, that in a sense removes you from the immediate event that you're really trying to capture. Whereas if you keep a diary, whereas if you write things down, that's going to give you like the distance that you need to properly reflect on, you know, the proper way to capture the event, the proper way to describe the event, the proper way to relate to yourself to the event. That's a lot more valuable than like a concocted version, digitally concocted version of a picture of something that had happened a few years ago. Even though it's easier to take a picture of something, take a video of something, in my opinion, it's more challenging to keep a diary. It takes a little bit more work, but at the end, the relationship between you and your past self and the events that you've experienced, the relationship will be much stronger if you write it down. if you have that distance and if you remove the anxiety of just, concocting everything digitally or just recording everything digitally. And speaking of capturing reality through words, I recently started a podcast where this entire podcast is going to be a collection of my readings from all the blog posts on my website. And if you haven't checked out the blog yet, it's basically a collection of all of my, personal essays and Metropolitan Diary entries. So all those diary entries that you guys loved on my channel, they're going to be presented in a written form with a piece of audio recording. So I feel like that's a really good way for me to capture my version of my reality. So I'm just going to pursue that thread, and be sure to check it out. Sign up for a free newsletter so you can get all the pieces delivered to your email inbox ASAP. And I really do encourage you guys to start your own diary. Write something. Write 1 to 2 sentences every single day, just describing your day. It's going to give you that distance and the psychological clarity that you need to properly tell a story about the day. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight, and I will see you guys in the next one.